Let's get right to the latest on Edward Snowden. Where is he now? Where is he going? The U.S., Russia, and China fighting over him right now, all the world's biggest powers. And ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Roth starts us off. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, George. Wherever he is, Snowden has triggered a diplomatic war of words between the U.S. and Russia, reminiscent of the Cold War, as the U.S. continues to push hard to get the 30-year-old fugitive back to the U.S. Once again, Snowden was a no-show on the Aeroflot flight to Havana. ABC's Kira Radia is at the Moscow airport this morning.
There's been no sign of Snowden again today. If he hasn't managed to sneak out of the airport, he doesn't have a Russian visa. That means he can't leave the airport. The only way out is on a flight.
This morning, the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, angrily responded to U.S. demands for Snowden's extradition. Lavrov said American allegations that it was hiding Snowden were absolutely ungrounded and unacceptable, but he refused to say where Snowden was. On Monday, the White House press secretary minced no words, demanding that Russia stop the American fugitive and send him back to the U.S.
We expect the Russian authorities to examine all the options available to them to expel Mr. Snowden appropriately.
It's a real-life version of Where's Waldo, with the former CIA and NSA contract employee first fleeing to Hong Kong a month ago, then Russia this weekend. Former CIA officer Emily Brandwin.
I feel like every country's going, hot potato, he's not ours, he's not ours.
After his unexplained no-show for Monday's flight to Havana, leaving seat 17A empty, Snowden had disappeared somewhere inside the Moscow airport. American authorities believe that Russian intelligence agents were helping him hide and giving him VIP treatment.
They might like to have him go to sleep while they get to play with his computers that he's brought along with him. Maybe they'd like to make him an offer. Maybe they'd like to have a conversation.
Snowden denies he would give another country valuable U.S. secrets. But Secretary of State John Kerry said Monday, people may die as a consequence of what this man did. And Snowden has made it clear it was his intention all along to do as much damage to U.S. intelligence agencies as possible, telling the South China Morning Post that he specifically took the job through contractor Booz Allen at the NSA in Hawaii solely so he could get access to the NSA's activities around the world.
And the journalist he spoke to, Glenn Greenwald, is saying that more information is about to come out.
That's
okay, Brian,
right.
Thanks very much. Let's get more on the fallout from ABC's John Karl at the White House. So, John, we just heard the Russian foreign minister say that they are not hiding Snowden. Does the U.S. know where he is?
The U.S. believes he is still in Russia, and all the effort here, George, is focused on the Russians, putting pressure on them to turn him over, to expel him, and turn him over to U.S. authorities.
Any response to those pretty harsh words from Lavrov saying that the U.S. demands are ungrounded and unacceptable?
Yeah, those words hit the White House with a thud, but no direct response yet, except White House officials saying that they are not accusing the Russians of being in any way complicit with Snowden's crimes. They say that they are simply trying to get Russia to do the right thing, which is to expel somebody who is wanted for a felony. They are making this case directly at all levels, George. Even FBI Director Robert Mueller has had multiple conversations with his Russian counterpart over the last 24 hours.
But Jay Carney yesterday at the White House podium, the White House press secretary, did seem to suggest that China was complicit in getting Snowden out of Hong Kong.
He sure did, George. This was some of the harshest language I have heard towards the Chinese in many years, certainly the harshest we have heard from the Obama administration, basically accusing China of lying by saying they had nothing to do with Hong Kong's decision to allow him to move out, and saying that the move had caused damage to Chinese relations, U.S.-Chinese relations. And, George, that is the message to Russia as well, that if Snowden is allowed to leave, if he is not turned over to the U.S., this is something that will be seen as doing severe damage to U.S.-Russian relations.
Okay, John Karl, thanks very much.